everyone. So today I am doing the gift guide, and I think it's going to be a minimalist gift guide. I will just put a few things in, and if you want to see more, if you're kind of feeling like you want to shop this festive season and you didn't get enough, I will link the previous years, because those sets that I have mentioned, they're still there, and you know, there is a lot more in those gift guides. This year I kind of feel like throughout the year, because of the lockdown, I have been shopping quite a bit and buying a lot of new things, and I feel like at the minute there isn't really anything else new, so I decided to just feature or share with you things that I discovered mostly this year, things that I believe in, that are great, that are fun, and that's it. So that's where we are going to start. Now I have a whole pile here propped up on a chair, so hopefully nothing will collapse, because it will be a bit like domino effect where, you know, one thing will start off the other. I have a list prepared of things, and I have a tray, a whole tray of things that are all watercolor related. So I think I will start with watercolor items, products, and then I will go on to sort of mixed media, and I'll finish with books. So that's what we'll do. And I also will have some stocking fillers, smaller things that you can just pop into a little stocking and surprise someone that you love, or maybe yourself, just pretend it was Father Christmas. Alright, so we'll start with watercolor items. Now, as you can see, very humble, very humble. Don't have that many things to show you, but I think they are great. What is in the basket? So let's start with, what shall we start with? Let's start with brushes, just because they are right at the top. So a set that I bought new this year, and I have been eyeing for quite a long time. They have been in my Amazon basket for a really long time. I want to say over a year. I think over a year. And I've been looking at them and kind of wanting them, and I finally got them. Now, they are not cheap, because it's a set of 4, and you get great sizes here. So it would make a substantial present to someone who loves watercolors. So these are by Princeton, and they're the Neptune range. Neptune means that they are synthetic, and that they're called very thirsty brush. So they mimic the squirrel hair, but they're synthetic. So if you don't fancy animal hair brushes, these would be great. They just, you know, take in a lot of water. So we have a flat brush, which is a 3/4 inch, and there's a 1/4 inch dagger brush, and then 2 round brushes, size 4 for more detail, and size 12 for like a larger wash. I have tried, I think, all 3 apart from the flat just yet, and they are great. So just to touch on briefly on the flat brush, it's got a slanted tip. Basically this is created to help you make nice scratchy marks on watercolor. When you're watercoloring afterwards, you just go in with this sort of edge and create a bit of texture. So that's a good little bonus just to have. And in this set you get great variety. Okay, let's talk about now actual watercolors. So I am going to link the watercolor sets gift guide that I did either last year or the year before. There's a great variety there that shows you anything from Mijello, Mission Gold sets, which are beautiful, Schmincke sets, all sorts of sets. So you could have a look there. But this year I'm just going to mention one set that I have purchased recently, and I'm so happy that I got my hands on. And unfortunately I think this one might be sold out at the minute. I had one of my viewers tell me that it was sold out. However, I think the restock is supposed to happen on the 18th of December, and I'm talking about Jackson's here, and they also have stock somewhere in America. So if you order from them, you know, I think you should get it fairly quickly. I heard a couple of people saying from America they received it within days. That's not because they're sending it out or shipping it from UK. They actually have stock in US, so that's why it was so quick. And so I think you would still be able to get it for Christmas if they're back in stock by the 18th of December. So this is Schmincke super granulating new watercolors that are limited edition. They came out earlier this year, and basically they're beautiful. There are 15 new colors, and Schmincke has very cleverly broken it down into 3 different sets featuring 5 colors each. And this particular set is the Glacier set. There is also the Deep Sea and the Galaxy, but I know that I wanted actually most colors of this set. So when I saw that this set has all 5 of those that I wanted, I was really happy to get it. So the colors I have here is the Glacier Blue, Glacier Turquoise, Glacier Green, Glacier Brown and Glacier Black. In fact, Glacier Green has made into my November favorites. So you get full big tubes, not the tiny ones, you get the big tubes, so they're very great value of a gift here. And that's what they look like, the 15 mils. And then obviously you get a beautiful box with it, and it's got the Schmincke logo, what looks like sort of pressed and maybe burned a little bit into it. And it's just really pretty because you can keep this box for something else, and it's got a beautiful gold clasp, so in my opinion it makes a great gift. So that's that. In terms of watercolors, I am going to mention one more thing or brand, because I discovered them this year, and they are the Rembrandt Watercolours. Now they are really good quality but really affordable here in UK and Europe at least. I'm not sure how it would be for US, hopefully not too much due to the shipping. Obviously for us Daniel Smith is quite expensive, and Core, and for you guys from US that wouldn't be as expensive because, you know, you are there. So I have tried Half Pans by Rembrandt. This is, by the way, a set I created myself. There's a little video for it. Isn't it cute? Super, super cute. So these are Half Pans, and I also tried their tube paints. Both fantastic, great quality. I'm just checking that everything is still good. Battery, camera and all that shebang. So I have seen on Jackson's some really beautiful dark brown wood sets, and they look lovely. They really look great. Now I'm not buying it myself because simply I just have an abundance of everything collected over the years, so I'm very mindful of what I'm buying. But if you are wanting to try the brand, if you don't have that many watercolors, I think they're great because, like I said, the quality and the price are a great combo, and they have some really, really unique colors as well. So I'll try to link those gift sets down below. So under Rembrandt you'll see in the links, so it's easier for you to get to them. Okay, so next item is this Etchr palette. Now it's a mini palette and it's like ceramic. So I've heard about this palette for quite a while, and I finally decided to get it. Now I have a special idea of how to use them because I think the wells are so tiny that it becomes a little bit difficult to use it with watercolors, although you can do that totally. But I think I'm going to use it slightly different. So this is the 37 wells. I'm not sure if they're different sizes. I think I've seen something that had less of the wells, so they were slightly bigger. But these have 37 wells, which means that's the amount of colors you can squeeze into something so tiny. So it's I think it's a beautiful kind of modern design. Looks really contemporary and gorgeous. It's like a metal tin, and it says etchrlab.com, designed by Stephanie Law. And then you get the lid off, and inside you get a lovely little, I hope you can focus, there we go, llama. And at the back of it, it's a swatch card, I hope you can see. And then it's also protected by a bit of felt, which I guess you can get rid of once you start using it. And here is one of the palettes that comes out. So it's really tiny. You can see how teeny tiny it is. It would get a good kind of dot, like a big dot of watercolor. You know those dot cards? So that's kind of the equivalent to it, I'd say. So it's not for major watercolor pieces. This is for something where you need very little watercolor, and it's great to take out with you. So if you're making kind of urban sketches or botanical illustrations on the go that are quite sort of tiny, small, minimalist, this would be great. So this palette you can use to mix the colors with water and colors and everything, and this you can fill up. So you could also squeeze out some extra colors here on the side and use the rest of the pans here or wells to mix, or you could maybe do that to a couple of colors and leave the rest clean. So you have a few options of using these. Yes, so 37 actually is without this one, so this one is not counted as wells. So it's 37 colors in this tiny little palette. Isn't that neat? It's so cute. So yeah, great idea. And so the way I'm thinking of using it is sort of mixing the traditional watercolors and some of the liquid watercolors, which I'll get to in a minute. But so those would kind of add kind of an additional color breakdown, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. And obviously because they're liquid watercolors, they will take a little while longer to dry, but once they're dried, you can just, with the tip of the brush, they're so intense that you need very little, and that's why I think this palette would be great for it. Just literally a drop of that color would get you a long ways. So I have a couple of things left here, which I still put in the watercolor section, and that is inks and a fountain pen. Now I totally like using inks as a watercolor. It's you know, it's liquid and it is intense, and you can do so many beautiful effects just using those inks on their own to create a watercolor look, or you can incorporate them with watercolor, and that also makes a really interesting kind of migration of one into the other, and how they behave, how they kind of push each other, etc. So depending all on the ink, you just need to experiment. Now what I would recommend of doing is buying maybe a fountain pen, which is at an affordable price, and then get one lovely ink to go with it, and that together would make a nice substantial present, in my opinion. So in terms of inks, I'm just going to recommend two varieties this year. So Diamine inks do beautiful inks in general, very kind of decadent and high quality, and I've got a few of my favorites, which is the Ancient Copper, Oxblood, there's another one there, Sepia I think, and a couple more, but then I also discovered their shimmer inks, and I think for this time of the year, and just because it's a gift, it kind of feels a little bit more luxurious and special. So this is a fountain pen ink that is shimmery. Now it's quite unusual to find that their colors are beautiful. So the one that I bought originally was this one, Inferno Orange. So far to date I only have two, because I just bought this one and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. So that's all I have to show you, but they have more color variety in the shimmer inks range, so I'll link those that I have, but do have a look around. Maybe you might find something else that you like in terms of the color, but these two are gorgeous. So Inferno Orange is a beautiful orange ink. It's not flat, it just moves beautifully. It has a gorgeous intensity, and it's got this beautiful gold fine mica, I guess, settling at the bottom. If I show you, it's not that much, but it's so super fine that once you watch the bottom, it will dissolve really quickly. There we go, we're almost done. That's it. And it's now turning into this magical potion of sorts. It's just beautiful, and you can see how the shimmers and the gold is moving around, and that's what you get when you paint with it with a brush or use it in a fountain pen. I love doing both. The very late color that I got is the Cocoa Shimmer, so it's a dark brown. It basically looks like chocolate, really. Beautiful ink on its own, and then same thing, this one has gold again, and then once you shake it up, I love the fact that it takes seconds to shake it up. You know, sometimes with the shimmers and things it takes longer time to do it, and that can be quite annoying, but I'm doing it as we speak, and look, it's all gone. Here you don't get to see the gold as evidently as in this ink, but trust me, it's there. It's just because the ink itself is much darker. I can see it through the bottle, and I have done a swatch for you so I can show you how pretty it is. So it's this one here. So that's the color of the ink. I'm using some water here to dilute it, but at its darkest, that's what it looks like. And at its sort of most intense, where you don't use any water or anything, this is what the ink looks like, literally with a bunch of gold that you can see. So it's quite strong and gorgeous. So if you do thinner lines, you still see the gold beautifully. And once you start introducing water, that's when the gold kind of goes a bit thinner. But if you would write with this ink, it just looks so beautiful, the thin line and everything. Now, one thing I want to mention is I have loaded that Inferno orange into my Lamy, and it's been sitting here for quite a while, and I can see some of it has dried up a little bit or reduced, but it's writing like butter. There is no problem of clogging the nib or anything like that. It's extra fine and it works beautifully. I love writing with it, I love sketching, and just gives that beautiful gold shimmer. If you want to use it for signing Christmas cards or anything like that, it's just really special special ink. Now, the pen I was going to recommend to buy with it is a new little pen I bought. Look at this color, it's a turquoise. So this is the Kaweco Sport, and it's a tiny pen, and it's great when you are on the go to take with you. They are quite affordable, so these are around £16 or less, or £12, something like that. But there is also this couple that look pretty good. There's a silver one and a gold one. The gold one I think is meant to be a real kind of metal, so it's meant to be quite heavy. I haven't bought it yet myself, but it looks good. It sort of reminds me of James Bond Goldfinger, you know, like it just has that really interesting look. So I think, and those go for around 60 or 60 plus pounds. So if you wanted to make a more substantial gift, maybe with or without the inks, then that would be a good pen to give, whereas this one is a bit of a, you know, quite affordable. But if you combine the affordable with a nice bit of an ink, I think that makes a lovely present as well. And this one is the extra fine. I have to say, however, that it didn't work with the shimmer ink, it just didn't write at all, and it kind of wrote for a few seconds and then it stopped, and I just couldn't get it to glide. So I realized that whatever it is with the nib, it didn't work with this nib, but it did and does work with the Lamy. So that's something to keep in mind. So maybe don't combine these two. So what I'm trying to say is maybe it's not a great idea to put it together with this ink. Maybe buy an ink that's not shimmery. And I am coming to the next one, which is this one. Oh yeah, and these come in different colors. So they come in a red with a gold nib. That's nice Christmassy kind of color if you're into those colors. There's like a frosty pink. This is a frosty turquoise, I believe. So I'll leave the links down below as well. So here is an ink that's a drawing ink, and it doesn't have any shimmers, and it looks gorgeous. Now I bought this from Choosing Keeping a while ago, and I haven't opened it yet. As you can see, it sort of looks like a little potion. It's so pretty when it sits on my desk that I feel kind of bad opening it up. It's got this beautiful seal on there, and it's just such a craftsmanship of how they tied it onto the cork. And yeah, but it's a beautiful color. The color I got is the Rosa Rosen, and it's by Abraxas, and they're just, you know, artisan type of ink, and beautiful. So that would work fine with something like that. Also, what I have loaded into this pen, and I will come to it in a second, is the one of these, where is it? The Etchr liquid watercolor. So that works beautifully in here. You can use it as an ink as well as watercolor, so it doubles up perfectly. I in fact did all of my gift guide notes in that. You can see it's a turquoise, and that's the, let's see, what color is that? That's this color here, the 640, which is a bluish green. So it's a beautiful turquoise type of a color if you wanted to write with it. So that's it. Or again, what you could do is, instead of the, well, avoid the shimmer inks basically with the Kaweco extra fine. I don't know if the like the normal size, you know, size maybe 1 or 2 sizes up nib, maybe that would be better with the shimmers. I don't know, I haven't tried, so I can't promise you, but what I can tell you is that it works fine with the Ecoline. So maybe a little duo like that would be a great gift idea. Okay, so that's it for the watercolors. Let's move on into other items, and I think let's do stocking fillers now.